I got to make a pollinator garden themed birthday cake for Jessica because she's been growing one and everyone wanted to celebrate all the effort she's put in. For anyone that doesn't know, a pollinator garden is designed to attract and support pollinators like bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds by providing them with a source of food and habitat. So I think what she's doing is amazing. I started by using my palette knife to paint 2 different shades of green on the side, making the background more colorful. Then I began adding base colors for all of the flowers by piping small dots and smoothing them out slightly. This helped me make the clusters of wildflowers look more full without having to individually pipe a ton of flowers. The gentleman that ordered this for her was very helpful and sent me a website with a bunch of pollinator flowers used in this type of garden. So I know it probably seems like I'm just piping random flowers and petals, but I did try to specifically add flowers on the list to make it more accurate. The website also said the different colored flowers hummingbirds, butterflies, and bees like most, which I found fascinating because I didn't know that was a thing, and also, how do you know that? Did you ask them? But fun fact, hummingbirds favor tubular shaped flowers in vivid red, yellow, and purple. Also, I guess the drama with this garden is that some wildlife is trying to eat the plants almost as fast as they grow despite all of their efforts to keep them out. I was told they get a lot of bunnies and an odd skunk, so I knew that needed to be included. The first animal I drew was the bunny, and I find animals look most accurate when you give their fur, feathers, or scales the right texture. To do this, I often use a toothpick or the end of my piping tip, so while I'm pushing out buttercream, I'm smudging it together at the same time. I was so happy with how cute the bunny turned out. I knew that was going to be the front of my cake, so next to that I drew a hummingbird. My personal favorite is the green and pink one, so that is what I created. After that, I made some really fat bumblebees, which is honestly really funny to me, and they're completely disproportionate to everything going on, but I didn't want them to get lost. Following those, I made the skunk, and honestly, justice for skunks because I feel like they're very misunderstood. It's not their fault they're one of the smelliest animals in the world. Okay, we all have our flaws. This past spring, I actually came across an injured skunk in the road, and I felt so bad for it because no one wanted to help it from fear of being sprayed. I ended up going back to my apartment, poking a bunch of holes in a clear bin, and grabbing a shovel so I could scoop it up and take it to the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center. It did end up passing away and I cried, but that's besides the point. The real question we must ask ourselves is, would Robert Irwin, Australia's most eligible bachelor, try and save a skunk? Anyways, to make my skunk extra cute, I placed a butterfly on its nose and then made a larger butterfly on the front of the cake. For the bottom border, I just piped on some grass, and on the top, I wrote "Happy Birthday, Jessica" in a really pretty blue. This is the finished cake design, and I love how it turned out. The bunny, hummingbird, and skunk are obviously my favorites. Let me know what you think, and honestly, now I've run out of things to say, but I have to keep talking because you guys are always saying how I need to show the finished design longer, so I'm trying to be mindful of that. Okay, thanks, bye!